Hey, what's good? And welcome to Damaged Goods. My name is Lamb. This week, I've really been in a very funny situation. I have found myself speaking with a young lady, revisiting a couple of old situations, dealing with some foolishness, as I like to call it. The main thing I wanted to talk about was just dealing with my disappointments with some things. More or less, it's just about having higher highs and lower lows. Not necessarily being depressed or not necessarily being overzealous, but looking at life and seeing where I am and trying to find a balance. Today I actually called looking for like a therapist and stuff. Like for me personally, like I have this idea of me wanting to go to a therapist at least 4 times a year and just really being able to speak with a therapist, tell them about where I am within each of the seasons, have a conversation of where I am and giving them what's on my plate, and then just, going through it, having them help me look at my life and look at where I am, putting all the pieces together and helping me align my roadmap a little bit better for, where I'm lacking, where I need to improve, and where I am doing well. I met this young lady, and it's been relatively short, and we made plans to like see each other. However, the plan kind of fell through. Now, I was relatively excited to meet her. However, we've lost touch. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know where she is. I hope she's doing okay. I really don't know. In this situation, it's made me think it's not bad to be excited about the possibility of meeting someone new, really being able to see what happens within that time frame. However, I was kind of disappointed. And I was disappointed because what I expected to happen didn't happen. I'm kind of looking at myself and really trying to gauge, is it normal to feel this way? Is it normal to have these wants of something to happen and then it doesn't? And it is normal. It is normal to be excited about something that you do want. It's okay to also understand that things don't necessarily happen the way that you want them to happen. And in my situation, I wasn't happy about getting my hopes up and then for things to not go the way that I planned or the way that I anticipated them to. And maybe it was for the best, maybe it just wasn't the right timing. Maybe it'll come back at a later point in time or we'll reconnect. I don't really know. That really inspired me to really make this. I began to truly sit back and think about not only where I am with romance seemingly being on the horizon, but the next step of my life within the next area. This week at work has also been quite difficult. Even that has made me think, I'm in a stage of higher highs and lower lows. I have a lot of good things coming, and I'm also dealing with a lot of bad things as well. With what I do, I could understand, it's part of the job. However, there's no way to really mitigate that since it's not a work-based kind of thing. It's not really something that I could truly improve upon. And even though there are ways that I can alleviate the situations that occur, there's no real way to get around that form of disgruntledness. I'm just in this stage of going through the shit, basically. There's really no other way for me to explain it. I'm getting a lot of good, and I'm also getting a lot of bad. I need to find the silver lining. The only silver lining that I have is I get to get up every day, I'm healthy, and then I get to create every single day. That, for me, that's pretty much my only silver lining. And then with romance on the horizon, the possibility of having someone else to share my life with. And that's an exciting adventure on its own, or an exciting thought on its own. Only time will tell. Right now, that's like the greatest issue that I'm really facing. Just experiencing disappointment and then finding joy within the disappointment itself. And really being able to understand that a lot of this negativity breathes a lot of my creativity. And a lot of this negativity is truly fuel I can put into the art that I create, like this video, like the music that I'm working on. It gives me the freedom to explore myself within me creating these kind of videos and divulging part of my life. Not only make myself an example of something that I don't really see, the vulnerable side of being an adult, being a young male who is expressing all of these emotions and expressing the good and the bad, the hardships, as well as the small victories. And it really does make me think, there's a lot more to what I'm doing than what I truly see now. And to a degree, that kind of makes up for all of the disappointment that I feel throughout this week that I've really just been dealing with. And I would say pretty much since Tuesday, I've had this deep sense of, I wouldn't say despair, but this deep sense of sadness. And even through that sadness, I've sat down and I've just, make music and focus on, one of the ideas that I had. I think I picked a loop earlier this week, and I pretty much got out most of that idea. It's not done, but it's still something that I'm just working on. Speaking of that, I finished my track for the week, so I get to sit down and just make sure I express my emotions throughout everything I do after hours, using my feelings as my motivator to sit down and work and create and to keep me going. And that's just part of my process. I want to know for someone else out there who might be going through this phase of focusing on transitioning, building a brand. Even if you're not transitioning or building a brand, I know that you're working on yourself and working towards your goals, whatever that may be. How are you expressing your feelings, going through the higher highs and the lower lows? Since, life is always changing, just like the seasons, and we're already in spring as of this moment in time. When I think back to winter, it was very cold, but also very refreshing. Something new, beginning to do YouTube, really beginning to take this seriously, as well as making music constantly and really focusing on the craft itself, learning more about the field that I actually want to get into going forward. I'm in the phase of, now I've taken some time off of working within the field that I was trying to transition into. I was like, I'm going to sit down and focus on just making content and enjoy making music, and then I'll go back to studying and things like that. So now I'm picking that back up. It's really nice right now. It's really nice, even though, right now things are difficult. It's not as easy. It's not the smoothest transition. It takes some time. It takes time for me to adjust. With everything that I'm doing and everything that I have going on, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of emotional work. It's a lot of spiritual work. It's a lot of physical and mental work. It's quite time consuming. All of it, from making content to making music to sitting down and studying. It's not that I can't make time for it, but it's about managing my time and really giving myself the chance to excel within what it is that I am doing, to see the growth, to make the strides that I would like to make, so I could have the life that I would like to live. And that's really where I am for the most part. So I want to end this video with a simple question. Right now in your life, what are you doing to keep yourself balanced, or just level it out while you're going through this point of higher highs and or lower lows? What are you doing for yourself? For me right now, it's really just a lot of creative work. Well, a lot of creative work being done, a lot of time being put in, trying to balance it all out and really enjoy myself through the process. I even began playing video games throughout doing everything, just so I could understand, there's also has to be me time, outside of just the creative work. Because at the end of the day, it's all work, even though I enjoy it. But I'm still working to make this a career. I want to say thank you for tuning in to Damaged Goods, and I hope I hope to see you guys in the next video. You stay safe and have a great day.